Hey everybody, thank you so much for coming to my channel, D versus Debt. This is D and it is Money Monday, which means it is time to stuff our envelopes. So every week I give myself $100 in cash spending and $100 in credit card spending. So I'm about to count my cash and get it ready to go. First I wanted to point out a couple of things. Last time I had the fancy press-on nails. Those were kind of a disaster, y'all. I got my $1 worth out of them because they only lasted a day. I took a hot shower and they just popped right off. So this time I am using, for the very first time ever, those stickers, which I'm surprised that they're still sticking on. So I had some gift card points to redeem at Amazon, and so I cashed them in on these cheap little stick-on thingies, and I'm just fascinated by the fact that they really do just stick on your nails. I did put an overlay of gel clear coat on top, and I'm actually not sure how I'm supposed to remove it. Do I soak it in acetone, or what's going to happen when it's time for these to go? Let me know in the comments below how to do this, because I'm very bad at being girly. But the other thing I wanted to point out is I have this beautiful card that is going to be living on my refrigerator and making me smile every time I walk by it, which is often because me and my refrigerator, we're tight. So this is a beautiful card. I'm going to show her information on the screen. So here's Natasha's channel, This Little Budget. Please be sure to go check her out. She's awesome. And I just love her channel. I just love when her little girl Lauren pops up in her videos with her sweet little voice. So I bit the bullet and I got a PO box and I'm hooked. So if anybody wants to just like exchange words of encouragement back and forth, that will really be wonderful. I think that'll really help with motivation. Like, YouTube helps keep me accountable, and stuff like this is really motivating. Like, yeah, let's, cheer each other on and let's root for each other and keep ourselves going on this journey, because it's not an easy one. It's hard to stick to. So stuff like this really helps. I'm loving this card so much. So Natasha, thank you so very much for the big old smile you put on my face with this cute little card. All right, so it is time to stuff the envelopes. So here we go. It's 20, 40, 60, 80, 85, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. All right, so there is my cash all set up, ready to get stuffed. So here we go with my categories. Give, I emptied out. The money I put into here went to 2 different homeless gentlemen. This week I had to go to Tucson for an appointment, big city. So at the intersections, there's usually homeless people. And so when I would stop at the light, I'd hand them some cash. I felt really bad for the second gentleman because he was so happy when I gave him the money and he asked for water. And I felt so bad because I didn't have water with me. And I realized, I should have like a little cooler with me when I go out of town like this, and have it ready to hand out for people that are thirsty, because those of you that have been in Tucson know it is hot. Okay, so I'm gonna do 5 singles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, instead of the usual 10 this week, because I don't have any plans to go anywhere. Money is pretty tight this week, especially because I have some major expenses coming up. So that means I won't be out and about. So I'm gonna keep my categories kind of small. However, the happy one, I am still gonna stuff 20, which is more than usual. Normally it's 10. But again, I'm not spending this money because I'm trying to save up for the middle of November to try to go to Phoenix to a conference, a Pinterest conference. So that means I've got 60 in there, and that's just gonna sit there and be untouched. And we'll see if I'm able to make it to the conference. For Yum, usually I go between $10 to $20. This time I'm just gonna do what's left of my ones, which is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm really trying to do like a pantry clean out and a freezer clean out, where I'm just eating everything I have in there and trying to make room, but also trying to save money on groceries, because groceries are so expensive right now, y'all. Prices are going up and things are getting kind of crazy. So I'm just making it a point not to eat out as much. But you already know, if you've been following my channel, exactly where this $5 is gonna go. So Burger King is gonna get $5 from me sometime this week. And I was cracking up because Chris, on budgeting just because, did this little thing on Instagram where she announced like Fetch is giving 100 extra points this week for Burger King. And she's like, you know who's going to be there? And that would be me, exactly. So going to get 100 extra points on my Fetch. Thanks to Burger King and to Chris for letting me know. So nothing's going to go into shop because, again, I'm just kind of tightening up on my expenses. I have a huge expense coming up. So I've been putting off replacing my tires, and I basically can't put it off any longer. I was thinking it was going to be about $500, and I just got a quote, and it's going to be $700. All right, for my next category, I have handyman, and so he was over, helped clean my yard, which means that I have emptied this out, which means that another 20 is going to go in, and we've pretty much reached the end. I think there's not going to be very much left for him to do, you know, once all the weeds die out and all that stuff. So I have a feeling this envelope's going to start not getting as much action as it has been, so we'll see how that goes. Water, there are $40 in here already, and so sometime this week my bill's going to come in. So I'm going to hold off on stuffing this until I get the bill, and hopefully it'll just need maybe $1 or $2 more, and then I'll be able to pay it. But no action for this envelope this week. For my sinking funds, for gifts, it is time to put another 20 in, because I'm building up for my Christmas fund. So that puts us at 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80. So $180 towards Christmas. Can't believe November is a week away, basically. That is just wild. And unbudgeted, I had $50 in there, and as you can see, this envelope is now empty. So I had an unplanned expense come up. I had to go up to Tucson. So for me, that's a 4-hour round trip drive to get a mammogram. So I have to have a mammogram and a breast MRI every year. So they're spread out 6 months apart. And it's super stressful, and it's a long day and all that stuff. And so basically, and I guess this is a good opportunity because October is wrapping up, and that's breast cancer awareness. So the average woman has a 1 in 8 chance of getting breast cancer. I have a 1 in 2. So basically I have a 50-50 chance because of family history and other things like that. So basically when my breast specialist sat me down, they have this scale that they take into consideration family history and all kinds of factors. And then they tell you basically what your odds are and what they recommend to do. And so for me, basically, it was like that scene in Ghost where Whoopi Goldberg was like, you in danger, girl. Because again, just basically 50-50 chance. So we have to really stay on top of things and keep things in check. I chose not to be as aggressive as they wanted me to be. They had wanted to start me on tamoxifen and all kinds of other stuff. And right now I'm just like, no, let's just stick to testing. And if you've never had a breast MRI, it is horrible. I hate that. So I have to have that every year. And they've actually recommended that for next year I should be sedated for the exam because I've actually had panic attacks during it. It is not a fun test. It is awful. I hate it. So, but I don't like the idea of being sedated either. So we'll see. So anyways, please, for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, make sure you're being good about checking yourself, staying on top of things, making sure your friends and your loved ones are all keeping an eye out on their health. Okay, so that is it for my little sinking funds. For community, I emptied my envelope, so I'm going to put $5 in here so that it's no longer empty. And again, this is to help out other YouTubers and to contribute to the community. For this last week, I did a super chat because Chrissy from the Mom Life was doing a whole series of live videos every single day, like multiple times a day. And so I was like, wow, that's commitment. That's a lot of energy and time like that. But it was so fun to hang out with other people during those lives. And so I did a super chat. And so for this week, we'll see where that money goes. YouTube, I'm gonna put another 5 in there because it is close to the end of the month, which is when I like to do my giveaways. That's 5, 10, 15 right there to go towards the giveaway. So let me stuff that envelope. Etsy is not going to get any action because school's been keeping me so busy, so I haven't had really time to be making things to post on Etsy, so I haven't had any expenses for Etsy, so we're just going to leave it as is. That one still has a little $5 in there, so that's good to go. And that is it. So I realized that when I went off on my tangent about breast cancer awareness that I forgot to stuff my envelope. So this last $20 remaining is what goes into my unbudgeted to try to build that up because I completely wiped it out with my trip up to Tucson and back. So that is it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful Monday and I'll see you in my next video.